Hey, Richard Cole back again. Rich is talking. I plan to talk about Kamala Harris and I talk about Trump going to that black journalist, whatever that was, a convention, and he spoke there. He went into the lion's den. It was interesting. He went into that, got totally insulted by the first person asked questions. Then Kamala Harris at the same time hasn't had one single press conference since she was anointed the VP or the presidential candidate for 2025. So that's where we are. She's, I think, going to maybe hide in the basement just like Biden did. I don't think she'd get away with that like he did. I think there's too much that went wrong with the Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration. And we're in a lot of trouble now in this country because of it. So the big news, though, is that she named her vice president nominee, Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota. I didn't know a lot about him, but I'm trying to find out. He is now apparently further left than Kamala Harris is. Think of Kamala Harris all the way left in this country to the Pacific coast. Tim Walz is out into the ocean. That's how far left he is. So a couple of things. What he thinks about the flag. He apparently changed the flag of Minnesota. Let me just show you what Megyn Kelly commented on that.
Tim Walz changed the Minnesota flag to look almost exactly like the Somali flag. I mean, it's a dead ringer for the flag of Somalia. It's got the highest population of Somalis than any other state in America. And you look at Kamala Harris's website, we noticed this the other day. Good luck finding an American flag on there. Good luck finding one policy. One. Nothing. You know what it is? It's LGBTQ pride merch. That's what's on her website. You go to the Trump website, it's covered in American flags. His motto is Make America Great Again. It's his campaign slogan. He's got his former Marine out there. They talk about America and their love of country at every turn. And so I do see this dividing pretty quickly into the pair that loves America and what it stands for, and the pair that doesn't.
So he's bowing to the Somalians there in Minnesota. Then he's bragged about his military career. He's in the National Guard, and he was some sort of a commander or something. And he talks about that, building that up. But there's a little bit of a dark side to that. And again, I wish she was my friend, Megyn Kelly. I follow her a lot. She's right on in most of her stuff. Here's what she brought to us about Tim Walz's military career.
Tim Walz has embellished, this is a quote, and selectively omitted facts and circumstances of his military career for years, said Thomas Behrens, a retired command sergeant major for the Minnesota National Guard. Walz, 54, this is back in 18, joined the Army National Guard when he was 17, completing 20 years of service. And then in 2001, just days after 9/11, Walz re-enlisted in the Minnesota Army National Guard. He then retired 4 years later in 2005, ostensibly to run for Congress. Okay, so far we're wondering what's wrong with any of this. Behrens says Walz did serve a long and honorable career, but it is his story surrounding his service post 9/11 that raises red flags. The discrepancies start with how long he re-enlisted for. They say, okay, in 2006, as Walz was amid his first campaign for Congress, questions were raised about the timing of his retirement. You see, Walz's sudden retirement after learning that his unit would be deployed to Iraq is what is under scrutiny. He allegedly re-enlisted for another 6 years, which would have taken him well past the time of being they were trying to deploy him. He would have had to stay. He would have had to go and be deployed. And suddenly he got out of it a couple of years early. And what they say is that he quickly retired after learning that his unit, Southern Minnesota's 1-125 FA Battalion, would be sent to Iraq. For Tim Walz To abandon his fellow soldiers and quit when they needed experienced leadership most is disheartening, and it dishonors those brave American men and women who did answer the nation's call and continue to serve, fight, and unfortunately die in harm's way.
Just a little add-on to that. Here's one of the fellow guardsmen who was serving under him. Here's what he has to say about Tim Walz.
He abandoned us. I mean, what the hell kind of leader does that? I mean, he just, as soon as the shots were fired in Iraq, he turned and ran the other way and hung his hat up and quit. For Pete's sake, if this guy quit, if I say I'm not going to do it, I mean, what the hell kind of leadership is that?
Well, that's not enough. Here's a clip from the Piers Morgan show where he makes some comments and then introduces an ad by the Republicans regarding Tim Walz. Watch this.
17 days ago, Kamala Harris became the presumptive Democratic nominee for president. She's yet to give a serious interview or face a press conference, and many people are getting rightly upset about that. But why should she bother? The media machine has roared into full throttle support of their great new hope, and so far, that's working. The latest polls show the vice president has quickly closed the gap on Donald Trump. In many cases, she's actually leading. But that could all be about to change. Today, the Harris campaign made what looks to be what could be his first major mistake. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is her pick for VP running mate, and Republicans have not wasted any time in pointing out that he is, by any reasonable assessment, a radical.
What could be weirder than signing a bill into law that requires schools to stock tampons in boys' bathrooms? Or weirder than signing legislation allowing minors to receive sex change operations? Try electing the man who signed those bills Vice President of the United States. Enter Chief Weirdo Tim Walz. As governor of Minnesota, Walz supported legislation that endangers minors, hurts women, and puts radical ideology ahead of common sense. Now Kamala wants Walz to enforce those laws on a national scale. Tim Walz, too weird, too radical.
You know where this is all leading. He's going to be in favor of men and women's sports, as Kamala will probably do, because that's where the left is. Somehow, women are going to have to say this is wrong and stop voting for this crap. They're going to do away with women's sports. There won't be any need for it if men are going to be playing in it. That's another thing I'm just all upset about. So anyway, that's where I am today. There's going to be a lot more to come on this, and you'll see me again soon. Bye for now.